Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's John Coffey and I am the Unpaved Explorer. Today, cooking up a rabbit on the stovetop. Yes, I said the stovetop. So I purchased this rabbit from the local butcher. It was frozen, and so I thawed it out and cut it up in 6 pieces. And so I got the 2 hind legs, the 2 front legs, the abdomen, and then the chest cavity. And so what I did is once I pieced it out, I went ahead and now I am what they call doing a light boil on it. And so there's just like a little stew pot. And so I'm doing a light boil on it with salt and water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this dish. I don't even know what it's called. And so it was something that a friend showed me a long time ago. And it's like a cheap way to extend your rabbit for your entire family. It's almost like beans or franks, but it's rabbit and beans, or beans and rabbit, or beans and bunny. And so right now, what I'm doing is just doing a light boil. Do it until it's tender, and then I will show you what I do next. Well, I just took the lid off just to check the rabbit and see if it's done boiling enough to where I pull the meat off. And so it looks like it's done to the point where I can pull the meat off. We're just going to check real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out, just one piece, and see if it works. And then if it does, then I'll pull them all out, let them cool a little bit before I attempt to take any meat off of it. So I'm just taking a piece of meat . So there's the piece of meat. Oh yeah, it falls right off the bone. Did you see that? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pull all the meat off. Pull the meat out so that it could cool and I can handle it better. Yeah, it's definitely done. Now while the meat cools, so that I can properly handle it with my hands, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on and let the water still boil down some. And I'll be able to start pulling this meat apart off the bone here shortly. I'll bring it back when I'm about to do it. Alright, the meat has cooled enough to where I can handle the meat. And so what I'm doing now is separating the meat from the bone. Now the meat I'm putting in this pot in the back here, and then the bones I'm putting back in this pot where the water was, and I'll continue to make like a broth out of the bones. And so now you got to be careful with pulling the meat away from the bones because there may be small bones. And you don't want anybody to choke on any bones. So you just got to feel through it, make sure. Now a lot of times people will use this meat, like the rib meat and the belly meat, and they give it to their dogs as scraps. But you do it this way, most of the meat could be used for you and your family. A lot of people don't like eating the belly meat because it's rubbery and stuff, but you do it this way, it's not that bad. It's still edible and palatable. And so a lot of people don't like the stomach meat because of it being rubbery. They give it to their dogs for scraps. And so I don't want you to sit here and watch me separate the meat from the bone. So let me go ahead and wash my hands, and once I'm done, I'll bring you back. Alright, see you shortly. Alright, so I actually got a lot more rabbit meat off of that rabbit than I was planning, so I'm going to make two different types of dishes with it. And so hopefully this opens up. I hate opening these biscuit things. They always give me a hard time. There we go. So I got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. Now I'm placing these pre-made biscuits. I'm sure you guys used them before. They come 8. If you buy the jumbos, you usually get about 8 jumbo biscuits on a cookie sheet. So that's all. So I'm going to put the biscuits in the oven. I got the oven preheating at 350. In this pot, I'm just making rabbit broth. And so, and here is where the rabbit meat is. So I'm going to put these off to the side until the oven preheats. Then I'll throw that into the oven. And so I'm going to go ahead and get the other stuff ready. I'll show you what I'm going to do as soon as I got a can of baked beans here. Bush's Best Original, seasoned with bacon and brown sugar. I don't have to turn it off. We'll just do it here. It may take a minute longer for the video or so, which is good because I need the watch hours. So, sorry my head's cut off, but I'm trying to keep everything focused on the stove. And so, it's cheaper if you buy dried beans and you make your baked beans yourself. So here's your rabbit. It's shredded rabbit. It's meat that was pulled off the bone. All you do is you take your rabbit and mix your rabbit with your baked beans. Then you put your baked beans and your shredded rabbit on low, and I am actually going to add a little bit of water to that because I know that rabbit's got to soak up a lot of that baked bean loveliness, that baked bean sauce. So throw a little bit of water in there, stir it around. So you got shredded rabbit with whatever baked beans you like. That's originally what my meal was going to be. Now, since there's a lot more rabbit than I thought, what I'm going to do is make pulled rabbit sandwiches. So I'm using some barbecue sauce, bourbon barbecue sauce, and so then I'm going to take the shredded rabbit, pour this on the shredded rabbit, and that's what's going to be on my buns. So I'm actually having 2 meals in one. What I will do is, I'm just looking around, trying to utilize as much as I possibly can with my stuff here. I'm going to take some of this broth. I'm going to pour it into the barbecue sauce jug. That way I can use as much of the sauce as possible. Shake it up. See? Put it in there. The rest of it in the baked beans. Throw this out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, warm up this barbecue sauce that's what's in the fridge. Stir those. So what I'll be doing is I'll be stirring the baked beans for a few minutes here. Stirring the barbecued rabbit throwing the biscuits in the oven. And that's all she wrote for now. I'll check it here in a few minutes and I'll bring you back. Alright, I'm going to start plating some of the food. And so right now I just got hamburger buns, sloppy Joe buns, or whatever you want to call it, barbecued rabbit buns. So let me turn this off. So what I have here is a pulled barbecued rabbit. Pulled barbecued rabbit. Pulled barbecue rabbit. And the other dish is just about ready. I'm going to bring you back in just a second, and then we'll see how this tastes. So I just pulled the biscuits out of the oven, nice golden brown. And so all you do is you split your biscuit. You split your biscuit. It's hot and steamy. You take your baked beans. Let me get a different scoop here. You take your baked beans that has your shredded rabbit in there. And there you go. Shredded rabbit, baked beans over a biscuit. So I'm going to put this on the area where I'll be eating, and we'll begin eating. So let me show you my plating. So this is the barbecued pulled rabbit, bourbon barbecued pulled rabbit. This is baked beans with pulled rabbit over a biscuit. Biscuits. I got iced tea. So the first thing I'm going to eat, take a bite of, is the barbecued pulled rabbit sandwich. It's a little sloppy. That's good. Really good. That was really good. Some meat fell to the side, and so let me grab some of that. I'll take one more bite of the sandwich. I don't want the video to be too long. I tell you what, bone snuck in there. One thing you got to be careful of, if you do your stuff this way, to be very conscious of bones. The bread was soft, the rabbit is moist, the rabbit is flavorful. Okay, so this is the biscuit with the baked beans and shredded rabbit. I don't know if you guys eat baked beans over biscuits. Here we go. Another bone. You got to be aware of those bones, that's for sure. Man, that was really good. Both are really good, but between the two, I mean, they're both really good. Something about baked beans on a biscuit. Man, that's good, really good. Tendons. And so I just showed you, the Unpaved Explorer just showed you how you could take a rabbit and make two different types of meals and extend it out for your family. And so these aren't expensive meals. You get a 8-pack of Buns, and you know, if you buy cheap ones, 99 cents. You buy a pack of biscuits, it was $1.49 for 8 biscuits. And then the rabbit was expensive. It was $5.99 a pound. And then you got your barbecue sauce and your baked beans. The baked beans was $1.49 a can, or maybe $1.89 a can. And so, again, my name's John Coffee. I'm the Unpaved Explorer, and I'm out of here. Now I'm going to sit here, eat my dinner, and wash up dishes. Now that broth, what I'll do is let that, the bones and stuff keep boiling for a couple more hours. Then all I'm going to do is drain it and strain it, make sure there's no particulate matters in there, and then put it in a quart jug and freeze it. And so that's going to be rabbit broth, rabbit bone broth. And so, all right, you guys, you take care, keep exploring the outdoors, and I'm out.